Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lakshminarayanan from Samsung Bangalore Center. We have about 11 people in the team. We handle inventions originally coming from our Bangalore Center. We have about 5,000 people in the organization. We are also one of the top 5 patent filers in India, as well as in 2013 we got the largest number of patent grants in India. So we have a portfolio of nearly 1,200 patent applications filed from Bangalore, created in Bangalore. More than 1/3 of it granted in foreign countries as well, US and Europe. So all of you know a substantial portion of IPR management includes IP creation and then IP enforcement. So let me share some practices that would be helpful to create IP systematically, IP assets systematically. So the agenda would be: what is systematic IP creation? How do you approach software patenting while you create IP assets or patents? How to prosecute them worldwide, as well as how to prosecute them in India, and then some concluding remarks. What is systematic IP asset creation? It's preparing people. It's also preparing the queue of inventions, and then building a strong and enforceable patent portfolio. So let us examine some portions of how do we prepare people. One way is we have to identify IP unaware R&D engineers. In a large organization where there are 5,000 employees, more than 1/3 of the people are freshers generally, lot of people, and some people work in the office like visitors. Some people are present there, but they have no clue what is happening in the organization. Only handful of people, around 30-40 people, are regular invention or patent filers. Beyond that, the organization wants to improve the quality of inventions coming from development centers like India, because India is becoming more expensive R&D center these days. So we have to, unless we create higher quality inventions, then there is no point in even existing here. Lot of projects like testing, error fixing, all those small projects have been moved to Vietnam, Bangladesh, and many other smaller nations as compared to India. This is a need for survival. Unless we create high quality patents, then there is no way we can measure the R&D output. So it is important that the focus should be: how do we prepare people to create high quality inventions? That's the foremost agenda. Identify a lot of people, tell them there is no point in working without creating IPs. Whatever you do, at the end of the day, there must be patents created. There is no point in forcing them. We have to create a conducive ecosystem that people participate by themselves. So emphasize creative product development. Every day we do the same work, there is not going to be any useful output. A project will be finished. What about the name for the R&D center? We have to show higher number of patents also. Educate incremental wise breakthrough inventions. Many people don't know exposure. They don't have exposure to patent creation. What do we tell them? Look here. We give plenty of examples. We put them on trainings. There are 4 different kinds of trainings that we give. One is new employee orientation, just making them understand what is the patenting process in the organization. Beyond that, we give plenty of examples of what kind of ideas become patentable inventions. What kind of implementations, ideas, it should not be imaginary, what kind of implementations should become patentable inventions. Beyond that, we help them to self-assess what is inventive step. There are many small incremental ideas that people bring it and say, we want to patent these kind of ideas. It's not possible. So we tell them what are the differences, what is a technical advancement, what is a business advancement, what is a competitive merit, whether it will have very high sale value, whether user interactions will be easier or not. whether hardware is easily available to commercialize, whether will it have high business impact. So all those questions are given to them to make people understand whether they should submit this idea or not within the R&D. There are times when people brought inventions for making a mobile phone silent. Nokia inventions, they are already existing. You make the mobile phone upside down, it becomes silent. So we also want to come up with alternate ways of making a mobile phone silent. So some people proposed, just place your hands on the mobile phone becomes silent. Some people say, press the power button on the mobile phone becomes silent. And somebody else comes up and says, simply say silent, it will become silent. How many patent applications will you file? And somebody says, we will make it automatic. How? Just check the profile of other mobile phones in the surroundings. If they are all in the silent mode, automatically turn it into silent mode. Some people say, as soon as the user picks up the mobile phone, make it silent. Can we file patent applications for each and every idea that is coming this way? Then where we will end up then? Having too many micro incremental stuff, there will be inventive step issues, lot of litigation is going, that's what is already happening. Unless we move away from this crowded prior art zone, we will never be able to show a disruptive idea. Everyone cannot create disruptive ideas in the company. At least we have to aim for 30% of the invention to be of highest quality. That should be the agenda in the IPR strategy. How do we line up invention? How do we get there? How do we get really high quality inventions? First, we have to prioritize the projects that are happening in the company, see which are all really relevant to the current market. There are a lot of people who are doing less useful job. Some are doing really great job. Many people don't have work at all. They just come to office, wait for newer projects to come. You have to catch those people, seek their attention and tell them this is what is emerging in the industry. If you create very good ideas in this area, that will have high business impact. What we do is we prepare some short landscapes of new emerging technologies and tell, okay, these are the areas where the industry seems to be emerging. Ask them to find out what are the problems by reading the patents, what are all the problems that are being solved in the industry, allow them to do brainstorming. And sometimes TRIZ principles, some very raw or even traditional way of brainstorming should be sufficient to create really great inventions. And it has worked. Identify and support relevant people group. We have to prioritize. We received nearly 5,000 ideas last year, but only 270 patent applications we could file. What happened to the rest? We were very happy that the inventors' participation was very high, but that was not sufficient. Next year we have to make sure they also create really good quality inventions. So the intellectual property that we carry as IP professionals, at some point when the organization has grown and is seeing a transformation from quantity to quality, we have to transfer our way of working to the R&D, and we have to do something more than what we have been doing, beyond novelty. So we give some training to inventors to do their own prior art searches. If the R&D person wants to find the cheapest ticket to Delhi, he is able to search internet and get the ticket. But for his own idea that he has got, which is readily available on the internet in the third or fourth link itself, they don't do it. Because that's the practice that we have to inculcate. Make them aware that there is no point in wasting everyone's time in the organization. When they search, they explore more and more on the same technology. At some point, they will arrive at really good inventions. Prioritizing what has to be high quality, what is of lower quality, then taking it up for patent preparation. Do you know it takes nearly 3 to 4 months as the industry average time from start of the invention to really filing of a patent application. That has to be carefully maintained. That should be really low. It cannot be very high. How to build a patent portfolio? This is for patent preparation. We have created high quality inventions through certain steps. Now we are working about how to really prepare a very good quality patent application. Many development centers, what they do, they prepare patent application in India. It's not going to be feasible getting it done all the way in the US. 8 years ago, people were doing it. But now, most of the companies do it either through Indian law firms or get it done in India itself. So a lot of US people, experts visiting very frequently India, the ecosystem has changed. We have understood how to meet the requirements of US, EPO, at least to fairly prepare a good patent application. Beyond that, we have to seek advice from US patent attorneys. We have to balance the requirements of US, USPTO, EPO, PCT, all those. I hope people are already aware of, even Gary Spear mentioned the way of drafting claims and how they are interpreted before the USPTO examiner. So some tips could be claiming apparatus as a minimum configuration while preparing a software patent application. Display is a very important essential component in a mobile phone, but we don't need to claim that as an essential element in the claim. You can, all that say is there is a memory, there is a processor, with memory has a set of program instructions. Together they receive input from the user and perform some function. To that extent sufficient. You can even catch the chip manufacturers who will be direct infringers. There is no need to make this, but now we are seeing of late in the last 2-3 years, claim drafting in India also has improved. Until 5 years ago, there were no people who were really making great claims in the industry. People used to think everything is essential. Some people used to claim everything in the first claim itself. Now things seem to be better. Take precautions on divided infringement. It's called multi-party acting claim. Several people, if there are more than one company, have to really perform the steps which are mentioned in the single claim, then it's going to be a weak claim. Imagine an eBay application. A customer makes a request, then a server, it processes the purchase request, a delivery center delivers the goods. In this way, 3 people work differently. Everything cannot be clubbed into the single claim. You know, the recent case, Akamai and the Limelight case has showed easily some results on what kind of control one party should exercise on the other party to really say that there is a direct infringement or induced infringement has happened. So they are all confusing for us. It's better not to claim that way. So mind your claim language. All of you know we file in US, we file also in EP, we file in Japan. While claim drafting, what people do, we also remember the requirements in Europe. It has to be 2-part form claim. You can have multiple dependencies in the European claim. In the US, it cannot be. So there are a lot of issues that we take care of. If we make errors in the claim, either we have to pay a lot of money or you will not be able to amend the claims easily at a later point of time. So make sure with a thorough study, you should all have guidelines. In India development centers, either you have US guidelines or European guidelines. You need to have, many Indian companies should have their own guidelines which takes care of the global patent requirements. Even when you have too many foreign filings, it becomes necessary to know patent laws in different jurisdictions. Do you know what is speciality of Taiwan? Taiwan is not a member of even Paris Convention, so it becomes difficult to file at a very later date. In Canada, you can file PCT application even at the time of 42 months from the priority date. So these are all certain things. We don't need to feel that we have missed out something. Hong Kong, registration in Hong Kong is UK, Europe. If you have got it published, inform it to Hong Kong Patent Office, and then once you get grant, do the same thing that it has been granted within 6 months. You get a grant there. So they are all important markets, electronics market. We cannot afford to miss them. So if we are aware of some basic portions of different patent laws, it becomes easier to handle. Even while getting foreign filing permission, you will know India has a rule. If you are a resident in India, you have to take foreign filing permission. In many jurisdictions, the applicant's nationality is being checked, especially in China and some countries. If an applicant is a Chinese national, then he has to follow. In countries like UK, if the subject matter belongs to defense related invention, then you can apply for foreign filing permission. Otherwise, you don't need to. So when we work here, they seek our advice, and sometimes there are teams who manage original inventions across the globe from India development centers. So they have to be very careful in really knowing the patent laws before applying foreign filings. Do you know the fees also is very high? If we have too many claims in the priority application, in India too, you file give the same fees as what was published in the PCT. China also, it's the same case. Already the patent office fees is very high, and we will be unnecessarily paying huge amount of fees because you cannot make amendments before entering into national phase. So these are all certain points that you already know, Form 3 requirements. It's not a great forum to talk now because they are all in confused state. Different people follow different practices. I have done some analysis on working statement submission of some 6 or 7 multinational companies and India companies. Nobody seems to be having one way of submission. Different people follow different ways of submission. But I think there is an IPR policy which is a welcome move. If the patent law is getting strengthened or more clarity is being available given to the people, probably we will also be able to have very good enforceable patents without much difficulty. So if we systematically create IP assets, we will be able to get easier grants and we will have an enforceable portfolio, also effective return of investments. Thank you very much for your patience.